What's up, Gonga Sleet? Welcome to the stream. Bring this chat up. Got it. I'm doing good. How are you been doing? Samurai Jack. I remember that show. We're gonna play a little bit of Spyro Reignited Trilogy today, but before we do that, there's a video that I was watching some before this over the weekend that I want to watch on stream. That is Spyro. That is about Spyro. That is. It's about Spyro. That video. Oh snaps! I forgot to switch around some cables for the capture card. I'll be right back. Okay, there we go. Yeah, this the stream going on right now. Your current live streams. Yeah, there was a certain. Oh yeah, go to the Spyro video. Yeah, Spyro video. That Canadian guy made. It's a pretty long video, but I just want to watch it anyways to kick off the stream, and then hopefully we'll still have time to play some more Spyro Reignited Trilogy. Let's see. No. Canada Grand Prix. Here we go. We're gonna watch this video, the Ultimate Spyro Iceberg Fact video, which I watched some of it already, but not even half. So yeah, skip the ads because I'm not using AdBlock or Google or YouTube Premium. No, okay, here, perfect.
Spyro has been around for over
Is
25
Spyro even looking at us?
years, which is absolutely insane. The franchise is
Insane
chock full of
trilogy.
history. So I thought I could do a Spyro iceberg video. I was able to dig up some crazy
Oh,
Spyro.
let's skip some of the oh, here.
Number of reboots, he eventually became the
Just
pseudo
skipped a
face
little bit
of
of
the
the intro.
Skylander series, the famous Toys to Life franchise created by Toys for Bob. The creative
Oh,
choice in terms of his design was definitely something that turned a lot of original purists away from the entire franchise.
Yeah, that would be me. Yeah, I was. That I would be one of them. Over Skylander, seeing a commercial like this, um, back in 2011, I'm like, oh, this is not the real Spyro. I mean, I just only knew of Spyro and Crash Bandicoot in passing, even though I had Crash Team Racing before. Like even I thought, and unlike this new Spyro.
However, Toys for Bob would later regain favor in droves when they remastered the original Spyro trilogy.
Oh, but then, what's it gonna say? Uh, Spyro's name was only on the first ever Skylanders video game, Skylanders Spyro's Adventure. After that, his name was dropped. And here, Canadian Guy A says about how the original PS1 games were remastered.
In the Spyro Reignited Trilogy.
Yeah, that's just the remasters and remakes being interchangeably used. Like I see remakes and remasters as in like, oh, remasters. I see remasters more like hold on. Yeah, like I see I see remasters as in, oh, look, Okami HD. It is it's taking the original PlayStation 2 game and adding in, like, updating the graphics, the textures, the lighting, adding any new features, any new like modern control schemes that didn't exist back when the original game was released. And then remakes is like you're taking a pre-existing game and you're recreating it with newer hardware, newer technology. Like, what if 1998 had Unreal Engine 4? Then you would get Spyro Reignited Trilogy, basically. Like, instead of renovating an older building, what if the building was built with the modern renovations already installed, you know? Like a building from the 70s, the inside doesn't. Today, I'm sure the inside still doesn't look like the 1970s. So, what if that skyscraper was built with 2020s uh 2020s uh, interior already inside? That I see remasters and remakes kind of like that.
Spyro Reignited added a bunch of quality of life improvements to the original, like dual stick camera controls, but one of the changes that they added across the board for all three games was adding roll.
Which,
Roll was
yeah, that rolling is a move, are moves that I barely ever use. I would just run around to avoid any enemies. I don't even think of rolling.
only in the original Spyro 1, but was taken out in later sequels. But Toys for Bob
True.
decided to re-add the roll for not only Spyro 1, but for the following sequels as well. Another
Hmm.
change that they added was the Gem Finder.
Yeah.
Gem Finder was a feature in the original.
Oh, so really, that's how gem finding. Okay, even when I watched this part of the video, over the weekend, I didn't know that was how gem finding worked in the original PS1 games, because it didn't exist in Spyro, because it didn't exist at first. I thought that the gem finding didn't even exist at all in the old Spyro PS1 trilogy. So Spyro fires a so, fires some fire to locate the gems in the original Spyro games. Gem finding, like locating the gems, like how when you press L3 on the Reignited Trilogy, sparks would fly towards the direction of a gem. I didn't know that kind of thing happened in the PS1 games, but I guess in the PS1 games, Spyro fire shoots some flames towards the direction of gems.
games that was added in later sequels. However,
Yeah, it wasn't in the original Spyro game, so I thought it wasn't a thing at all in the original Spyro trilogy.
it was not present in the original game. Additionally, you had to unlock the feature in Spyro Year of the Dragon through a series of Dragonfly levels. However, Toys for Bob decided to add Gem Finder across all
this
three
one.
games, using the exact same controls and no longer requiring you to play those blasted Dragonfly levels to have to unlock it. Speaking of the third game, a fan favorite set of minigames.
So if I'm missing 5 gems that are nowhere to be seen, it helps. Yeah, like in the Reignited trilogy, again, you can use sparks if you hit down like L3. If you press down L3, sparks will fly towards the direction of the missing gems.
Was skateboarding. But if you look carefully, when Spyro goes to flip, a sticker of Ripto is found on the bottom of the skateboard.
And you know what? I gotta replay this part in Reignited trilogy. Maybe we'll do it after this video to see if this still shows up in the Reignited trilogy.
Another cool fact is that Spyro
Or
has
if
appeared
that's
as a
just the
guest character
PS1
and was
version.
essentially his sibling's game, Crash Team Racing Nitro Fueled, and eventually Crash Team Rumble.
Yeah.
Psst, get used to this face. You're going to see him show up a couple of times. Spyro was a playable character in CTR along with Hunter and his sworn enemy, Nasty Nork. Additionally,
Oh, and what I didn't know until I started playing Crash Team Racing Nitro Field, which I still haven't done in months, if not over a year or two, is that Spyro the Dragon was also in Crash Tag Team Racing, but only the Game Boy Advance port. And before I knew that, I thought Crash Team Racing. And before that, I thought that Spyro's cameo or guest appearance in Crash Team Racing Nitro Field was the first time. I thought this was the first time he has ever been in a Crash Bandicoot racing game. But nope, it happened in another Crash team. It happened in another Crash Bandicoot racing game, but just only a specific port only.
an entire Grand Prix was organized for Spyro, which was called Spyro and Friends, which included a dedicated Spyro racetrack, along with
There should have been
cosmetics
more
and even
Spyro
skins for the
racetracks.
non-Spyro cast. If you only played the Spyro Reignited Trilogy, then you may not know this fact. At the end of Spyro 3 Year of the Dragon, the end credits reveal that Nasty Nork and Ripto are in fact alive, revealing that they began to plot on how to solve their dragon problem. In Spyro 3, you were asked a riddle at the beginning of the stage in Haunted Tomb.
Oh yeah, I remember
you can't
that
answer
riddle,
it right
even in
away
Reignited
because you have to
Trilogy.
ponder this riddle as you run through. But when you get to the end, the same NPC will ask the exact same riddle again. One of the answers that you can choose is
a Bandicoot.
a Bandicoot, referring to Crash Bandicoot. In Crash Bandicoot 4, It's About Time,
Which
there's
I haven't played in
abundance
months
of Spyro
either,
Easter eggs littered
if not
throughout
a year or
many
two.
levels, from a Spyro dinghy, crystal dragons, and yes, even a
Oh, I didn't
giant
notice the
parade
Crystal
float.
Dragons before.
There's an abundance of Spyro Easter eggs littered throughout many levels, from
Yeah, we all have seen this.
a Spyro dinghy,
A dinghy. Is that a Canadian word for the floaty? Oh, this I never noticed before. The Crystal Dragon statues.
crystal dragons, and yes, even a
And every-
giant parade float.
And yeah, even the Spyro parade float also has some giant parade floats of the other Skylanders characters too, including that I don't remember his name, but I've seen this. I've seen the Skylanders Academy show where it's the magma guy.
The original trilogy's development time was astronomically fast, as Universal wanted to turn a quick profit as quick as possible. This led to Spyro 1, 2, and 3 to come out right after each other in the following years, causing a lot of stress on the developers at Insomniac. When you hatched a dragon egg, there was a preset set of animations. One of the animations was the baby dragons doing the world-famous late Michael Jackson moonwalk. Spyro Reignited had a
But
weird
I think that
marketing
Michael
scheme.
Jackson did.
At first, there was little to
But I don't think Michael Jackson invented the moonwalk though. Like it already, like someone else already created the moonwalk. But nowadays, Michael Jackson is most associated with the moonwalk. Like he popularized the like he popularized the dance move.
no marketing for the game, only for the last 2 weeks to go absolutely insane. From Snoop Dogg
Insane.
to a literal fire-breathing drone.
I don't remember
It was
seeing these.
bizarre, yet perfect.
Yeah, I don't
During
remember seeing
development,
these.
Spyro Reignited had
these-
a code name.
these
and it was
advertisements
called
for Reignited
Project
Trilogy
Falcon. Remember
back
this
in
because it's going to
2018
come
until
up again.
Christmas.
Activision has
So I
started
found
to
out
use
about
the
it during
Unreal Engine
Christmas.
for many of their games, but Spyro Reignited was Activision's very first project using this world-renowned engine.
Yes.
Spyro's original soundtrack was composed by Stuart Copeland, who was
Yes.
the drummer for the world-famous band
And now
The
you know.
Police. He loved many of the pieces that he made for the series. In fact, he brought a number of them to other projects and even to his live events. Stuart Copeland would then return
his
as
live
an
events.
advisor to Spyro.
Wouldn't it be great to
Reignited
hear some
Trilogy
Spyro
for
music
Stefan
in a
Bancroft, the Toys for Bob.
Wouldn't it be awesome to hear some Spyro music at a Stuart Copeland concert? Like he's like performing the Spyro music, not just hearing it in the background.
Audio designer who remastered and reworked his
Stefan
tracks.
Bancroft.
Stuart Copeland would then decide to make one more track for Spyro called Tiger Train, which is what is
Yeah,
played
Tiger
during
Train.
the main menu of Spyro Reignited.
Oh boy. Ad. Mid-roll ad. Yeah, Tiger Train. I didn't know. I thought at first that when I saw the official Spyro Reignited Trilogy soundtrack on iTunes, I thought that the soundtrack was missing the Spyro Reignited Trilogy theme song. But what I didn't know until I watched this video was, oh, Tiger Train is the name of the Spyro Reignited Trilogy theme. Yeah, Tiger Train is the name of the Spyro Reignited Trilogy theme song, which is why I thought I didn't recognize it. I thought that the official soundtrack was missing the Spyro Reignited theme song. But they're still missing the Sparks Levels theme, unless that Sparks Levels theme is under a different name that I don't recognize.
Spyro the Dragon, one of the names that they settled on was Pete. However, a note was made that a dragon named Pete was probably not a great idea, as Walt Disney, of course, had the rights to Pete's Dragon. Now, the dragon in this series actually wasn't called Pete. That was the little boy's name.
Yeah.
The dragon was actually called Elliot. However,
Elliot.
Walt Disney was known for his very staunch use of copyright, and Insomniac felt that it would be best just to avoid the name Pete or anything to do with Disney when it comes to a dragon.
It's smart though.
Moving on to the body of the iceberg, we got a fact that actually still gets mixed up today. Sony Computer Entertainment America never owned Spyro the Dragon.
Exactly.
Spyro, and of course by extension Crash Bandicoot, were always handled and owned by Universal back in the day. While it was Insomniac and Naughty Dog that made the
Yeah, Universal Interactive. Now imagine if Universal Interactive still existed to this day rather than being bought by one other what is it? Yeah, Universal Pictures, Universal Studios in Orlando and Hollywood, USA. Yeah, Yeah, Universal Interactive is Universal's video game branch, or was their video game branch, just like how Disney used to have Disney Interactive. But yeah, imagine if Universal Interactive never went away. Like they were bought by one other company, who then in turn was bought later on by Activision Blizzard. But imagine if Universal Interactive never went away. If you were to see Crash Bandicoot and Spyro the Dragon in Universal theme parks.
Characters, it was on Universal's dime. This
Exactly.
is why when Spyro Enter the Dragonfly was handled by a different team, it came out on different platforms beyond Sony's. It
And
is
and
ironic, however,
and that the and that their exclusivities on the original PlayStation uh was always meant to be limited. Like it was just a deal, a 3 game deal. Well, Crash Bandicoot still happened to have Crash Team Racing and Crash Bash, which Crash Team Racing has been the only Crash Bandicoot video game not to be published uh, by Universal. So yeah, like the Crash Team Racing and Crash Bash, they were basically an extension of Crash Bandicoot being exclusive to PlayStation. It's just that Crash Bash happened to be the first PlayStation exclusive Crash Bandicoot game to be not to not be developed by Naughty Dog, as well as being the last PlayStation exclusive Crash Bandicoot game until Crash Bandicoot and Sane Trilogy became a PlayStation 4 timed exclusive in 2017. It's too bad that although it's too bad that Spyro Reignited Trilogy and yeah, it's too bad that Spyro Reignited Trilogy and Crash Team Racing Nitro Fueled couldn't be PlayStation 4 timed exclusives. But I guess it was a different. I heard something like it was a different type of business deal that Crash Bandicoot and Saint Trilogy was even created in the first place.
that both Naughty Dog and Insomniac are owned by Sony today. Speaking of Crash and
That's true. That's true too. Crash and Spyro's original game developers are now owned by Sony.
Spyro, in Crash Bandicoot Warp, if you did a modified version of the classic cheat code, the Konami code, it actually boots up a demo for Spyro the Dragon. This is actually how I personally discovered Spyro for the very first time, and I still vividly remember it to this day. Spyro 2 was named Ripto's Rage in North America.
Oh, and maybe one day we'll get into the PS1 Classics version of Crash Bandicoot Warped and see how the Spyro the Dragon hidden demo looks like.
However, at the time, the UK felt that the name was way too violent sounding for a kid-targeted product. So, Spyro 2 Ripto's Rage was renamed to Gateway to Glimmer when it released overseas.
And also that Ripto's Rage may have been too complex for some European languages to translate. So that's also the reason for Gateway to Glimmer.
Speaking of overseas, if you take a look at the Japanese version of Spyro the Dragon, when Spyro's name is written
I
in
love
Japanese,
this part.
it looks a lot
Look
like
like
the
Ripto.
word Ripto
I remember
in
this.
English. This is what was the inspiration behind the name Ripto as Spyro 2's main villain.
Yeah, I remember this.
Now, we're going to jump over to a different incarnation of Spyro from the Legend of Spyro series. There is a dark alter ego of Spyro in this universe called Dark Spyro.
And I showed you before on in DMs, and I showed you before in DMs that at a local collector store nearby me, um, that I saw a Nintendo GameCube port of Legend of Spyro New Beginning on sale.
Which is referenced and used in future titles, like Skylanders and even more recently in Crash Team Racing, as we got a take on a reignited version of Dark Spyro as an alternative skin. Speaking of Dark Spyro, Both Dark Spyro
Yeah, I
and
missed this.
Spyro
I
himself
missed out on
showed up
this
in the
part too.
shockingly short-lived Crash on the Run mobile game as a seasonal theme. This was one of the last seasons that Crash on the Run held before going on hiatus and then shutting down. It just couldn't hold strong like Mario or Sonic Unlimited Runners, right? Speaking of Sonic, when you go to Crystal Islands and talk to Moneybags, he says,
Yeah, Dark Spyro came from Legend of Spyro.
this,
Ralph's
referencing
trilogy.
the world-famous blue blur.
You shouldn't anger a magician, Spyro. I just might decide to turn you into a blue hedgehog or something.
Sonic isn't the only reference that we find in Spyro the Dragon. In his very first game, when you save Thomas, he's shocked that such a small dragon could save him.
Wow, I never thought I'd be rescued, especially by such a little dragon. What I mean is, I always believed in you, Spyro.
You gotta believe.
The cadence and tone is directly inspired by another PlayStation 1 star, Parappa the Rapper.
I gotta believe.
Unfortunately,
You gotta believe. Yeah, Parappa the Rapper 2 on PS4.
this line would then be botched in Spyro Reignited.
Wow, I never thought I'd be rescued, especially by such a little dragon. What I mean is, I always believed in you, Spyro.
You gotta believe.
Big sad.
First,
Oh, Sour Patch. Sour Patch commercial. Yeah, yeah. I was thinking about that last night as well. Uh, I think that the I think that you you gotta believe is fine, but because it is a Parappa the Rapper reference, it really should have been Tom Kenny's Reignited Spyro really should have said that line the same way that Carlos Alazraki Spyro said, "You gotta believe," or at the very least, like that Parappa the Rapper 2, uh, that Parappa the Rapper 2 intro. I gotta believe, or you. I always believed in you, Spyro. You gotta believe. That second take could have been an alternate way to say, for Tom Kenny to say that reference, but whether he decided to say the line the way that he did, or someone at Toys for Bob told him to say the line that other way, still botched up the line. Oh my goodness.
While Parappa's reference was missed, Bob and Doug's were not. Bob and Doug.
Oh, I didn't know these two were
in Spyro 3 Year
references.
of the Dragon.
I thought they were just
Living
speaking
in a
in.
frozen
I didn't know these two were references at all. Um, yeah, I didn't know these two were references at all. I thought they were just speaking in a stereotypical thick Canadian accent.
wasteland, along with having the thickest Canadian accents ever, it's clear that they were references to Rick Moranis and Dave Thomas's characters on the sketch comedy show
Rick Moranis.
The Great White North, who were named Bob and Doug McKenzie. Now, as a Canadian, I very much approve, eh? In Spyro 3, in Harbor Speedway, Sparks asks if you want to race the blue-footed boobies. Now, before you giggle like a schoolgirl, these birds actually do exist
Booby.
and have very, very large blue feet. Honestly, they're kind of cute. But
Boobies.
want to know what you don't get? Blue-footed boobies. Whatever these are, they are not the blue-footed boobies that we were promised. And
Boobies.
when Reignited came along, we were not rectified of this gratuitous lie. I want justice for the blue-footed boobies. In the very first trailer of the Spyro Reignited Trilogy, we got a quick sneak
It's
peek
like
as to
reminds me of the angry, well, not the angry video game nerd, yeah, not the angry video game nerd, but the you know what's BS, that other series by James Rolfe. I or unless it was the angry video game nerd that said it, where there was the different species of birds, like the great white tit or something. The what would you call those? It's they are actual real bird species. Yeah, like the tit bird. Looking it up right now. Great tit, marsh tit, uh, the Eurasian blue tit, willow tit, coal tit, gray tit, crested tit. Yeah, all of these tit birds that either James Rolfe or the BS man, or either an angry video game nerd or the BS man was making fun of. I guess it's in the blue, what do you call it again? Yeah.
What the dragons would look like. We were shown what everyone thought was going to be Nestor. However, this was a temporary stand-in for the beefy lad that we would see later on, and eventually had his scales turn to red and became Oswin in Dark Hollow. In the original Spyro 2, the monk at the end of the level asks you to deal with the Yetis that is causing them problems. However, there is a bit of a discrepancy between the text box and what the voice clip says. While the text...
Oh yeah, I was seeing a video clip like this on Twitter. I didn't get it at first. It was on Twitter or YouTube clip. I didn't get it at first, but I think now I do.
box says, "I really think you should torch that Yeti." Brother Ned actually says,
Even though I'm a vegetarian, I think you should kill that Yeti. He's pretty tough, though.
it's likely that the word kill was swapped out, but the dialogue was not. This of course was changed in Spyro Reignited, where Brother Ned matches the text box and says torch. Spyro 3 introduced a ragtag group of creatures that the player can play. The reason behind this was that Insomniac thought that they reached a pretty high plateau for Spyro's moveset. So, in order to diversify the gameplay, they introduced 4 new characters with completely different methods of play to spice up the playstyle of Spyro. Of course, Insomniac
this is
feeling
a
that they
bad-
hit the
this is a
plateau
bad
of Spyro's
camera
moveset
placement.
is one of the reasons why they decided to make Spyro 3 their last Spyro title.
Pepperidge
Oh, Pepperidge Farm. Oh, it's her from it's this voice. It's the actress from Ted Lasso, the TV show Ted Lasso. Not Juno Temple. What's her name? I'm gonna skip the rest of this ad, but still, this is this actress from Ted Lasso, the TV show. She was playing the owner of AFC Richmond. Biscuits with the Boss. Hannah Waddingham, Rebecca Welton. Yeah. That's her. That's her actress, Hannah Waddingham.
bomb.
Unless it's somebody who looks like her.
In Crash Twinsanity, when you reach close to the end, there is a cutscene where Crash Bandicoot's villains want to take a whole pile of treasure. This is discouraged by Cortex because there was a certain, purple dragon who already has laid claim to it.
Personally, I don't care, but I think he might want his gems back.
At least he wasn't trying
This,
to.
of course, was a way to cross-promote Spyro's new adventure at the time, Spyro: A Hero's Tale. Spyro 3 introduces a set of minigame side missions that revolve around skate parks located throughout the game. Now, you might already know about the cheat codes in Spyro that allow you to change his color, but there is also a cheat code to change the skateboard into a squid board. Yep.
I don't think I've
You
done
can
that
ride
in
around
Reignited Trilogy.
on a squid. And yeah, this cheat works in the Spyro Reignited Trilogy. Speaking of cheat codes, Spyro Reignited introduced new cheat codes that were not in the original games. Spyro with sunglasses, Tiny Head Spyro, Tiny Wing Spyro, and the retro Spyro code.
Yes, I have done that
Additionally,
one.
the Nintendo Switch has an exclusive rainbow sunglasses cheat code. When the Spyro Reignited Trilogy was in development, they did not have access to the original codes and files for the first 3 games. So, instead of guessing where everything was placed, an engineer at Toys for Bob designed a program that they deemed as Spyroscope. This program was an in-house emulation tool that showed the level's exact geometry and placement of items. It essentially allowed Toys for Bob to extract the bones of each level and use it as a foundation for the game. Toys for Bob received most of the credit and acclaim for Spyro Reignited Trilogy, but did you know that Sanzaru Games were the main developers for Spyro 3? Unfortunately, Spyro 3 did not hold the same bar of quality that Spyro 1 and 2 had. Many reports of glitches over the years have arisen, with areas of the game that clearly have cut corners. As the game progresses, you see more and more of these cut corners until finally the game's underbaked aspect reaches an eye-bleeding crescendo in the Super Bonus round, most notably in the Yeti racing. There are rumors and reports floating around as to what exactly went wrong, but a lot of the blame was pointed at Sanzaru. Maybe one day we'll find out exactly what happened.
And the game
Now
probably gets
we are
patched
entering
after
the
that.
water's surface of this iceberg.
I think this is the part I left off from.
Here we go. In Spyro 1, Spyro was voiced by Carlos Alazraqui.
Oh, no, not
However,
yet.
when
Not
we
this
shifted
part.
to Spyro 2,
I've already
that
watched this
voice
part.
was changed to Tom Kenny. Now, why did this change happen? Well, when they initially drafted up Spyro, they wanted to go for a young Bart Simpson kind of voice. However, it's been rumored that Insomniac
Crash
found that by
Bandicoot,
the
Taco
end of the
Bell,
recording
Chihuahua.
sessions, Carlos's take on
Wait,
Spyro
wait.
to go for a young Bart Simpson kind of voice. However,
Carlos Alazraqui was also in Crash Bandicoot. Who was he in that game? Who did he voice in Crash Bandicoot? Crash Bandicoot 2 Cortex Strikes Back. He was a voice in the commercial of Crash Bandicoot. This article's a stub here on Crash Bandicoot Trilogy fandom. In 1997, he voiced Crash Bandicoot in an advertisement for Cortex Strikes Back. At least in the commercial, but did he voice any Crash Bandicoot? Did he voice any Crash Bandicoot characters in game? Yeah, Taco Bell Chihuahua dog. Yes.
it's been rumored that Insomniac found that by the end of the recording
I'll
sessions,
try to
Carlos's
play
take on Spyro was
a little bit of
too
Spyro.
annoying. Tom Kenny was brought in to give a more confident and cocky take to the Purple Dragon. This obviously left an impact because when Spyro was being remastered for its Reignited Trilogy, Toys for Bob brought Tom Kenny back to not only just revoice his lines from Spyro 2 and 3, but also all of Spyro 1. Additionally, Tom Kenny is arguably one of, if not the most famous voice actors of all time, but his debut role for voicing a character in a video game was Spyro in Spyro 2 Ripto's Rage. While developing Spyro, green and yellow was almost the color scheme that they settled on. However, they found that Spyro blended in too much with a lot of the grassy environments. So they ran Spyro through many different palette swaps until they settled on purple and yellow, which, funny enough, are complementary colors. When Spyro 2 Reignited was in development, there was a number of questions on its cinematics. While many cinematics were just cute and fun, there were a number that were either way too violent, confusing, or just flat out weird. Toys for Bob adjusted some of these cinematics to make more sense, like magma cones and even Sunny Beach. Spyro 2 wasn't the only game to get some cinematic adjustments. Spyro 3 had also gotten some tweaks, but specifically with the one of the most darkest moments in all the original trilogy.
And I'm going to send it out to destroy all the dragons, even the little hatchlings. Yes, yes, it will smash them and crush them and grind them and tear them. Oh, yes. Smear them and smush them and crack them and crease them.
No, they didn't remove that part. They left that part in. It's actually something that they added. What was added was some dialogue from Agent 9. As in the original cinematic with the Sorceress and Bianca, Agent 9 said nothing, which is kind of hard to believe because he doesn't shut up. So, in Reignited, they gave him some commentary during the whole, baby genocide scene. Continuing with Spyro 3's playable characters, in Desert Ruins, Sheila's playable level is a nod to older 2D platformers, but some have pushed to even say that it's also a reference to Crash Bandicoot, as both Sheila and Crash are marsupials and both animals are native to
They're not
Australia.
necessarily side-scrollers,
It's
though.
subtle, but it's there.
Or Crash. Not again. Good mid-roll ad.
Now, if you live in Australia, you can take a short flight to a nearby country in which Spyro absolutely bombed in, and that is Japan. Spyro's Japanese ports were absolute failures, flops, you name it, in the land of the rising sun. The reasoning was because of the amount of adjustments that was made to the actual game.
Yeah, Japanese people at the time weren't used to this camera.
Being about as useful as a box of matches in a dumpster fire. They also slowed the charge down because playtesters were reporting on a sickness called 3D sickness? Yeah. Overall, Japanese Spyro failed miserably. Back on American soil, an unfortunate fact is that Insomniac, the original developers of Spyro, never had any plans to make a Spyro 4.
Oh, that's awesome.
As soon as they were done with Spyro
awesome
Year of the
with,
Dragon,
like,
they
the
knew
maps.
that they would be moving on to a different project. This, of course, led to the development of Ratchet and Clank. Spyro Reignited Trilogy's development time was not very long. According to sources,
yeah, the game was
estimates,
rushed.
It was stated that Toys for Bob had just about 11
Reignited
months
Trilogy
of
was
development
rushed.
time. Now, this was before the game was delayed from September to November, so just over a year to remake 3 games from the ground up. That was a huge task for Toys for Bob. Before Spyro Reignited Trilogy was announced, there were a number of Spyro Remaster hint hunters that searched up and down for every hint possible that there was a new game coming, and I was one of them. As we drew closer to the announcement date, we found out that a user that owned the Twitter handle Spyro the Dragon was changed and swapped to a locked private account called Falcon McBob. At the time, when we cross-referenced that name with SAG-AFTRA's listings of projects that they had in development with Activision, one of the project names was Project Falcon. We then watched this Twitter page obsessively until it activated and the Spyro Reignited Trilogy was announced. We later confirmed that Spyro Reignited Trilogy was indeed called Project Falcon. Good times. When Spyro Reignited Trilogy initially released physically, the game could not fit on one disc, prompting for a massive day one patch to play all of Spyro 2 and 3, as the entirety of Spyro 1 was the only game on disc. This would later be rectified as reprints were done that put the entirety of Spyro 2 and 3 on a disc.
And speaking of which, did the reprints that fit all 3 games on disc, which I didn't know until which I didn't know happened before until I was told that on Discord. Here's my copy of Spyro Reignited Trilogy. How you see how it says well, you can barely read it, but you see how it says like a game download requires content download. Was this not a reprint of Spyro Reignited Trilogy fitting in on one disc? This is still the old print of when the second and third games had to be downloaded separately.
Spyro 1's development, Insomniac really wanted to make sure that Spyro's flight and gliding worked and felt great.
The
So they hired
downloads,
Matt.
it's just like when you install the game. When you install the game on PS4 or whatever, or PC, it'll be automatically downloaded to your console or PC. But when apparently when the game was reprinted so that all 3 games can fit on one disc, I don't know if they removed that requires game downloads print.
Winning a previous employee from NASA to make sure that Spyro's physics and flight felt good. One of the flying levels that was remade and reignited was Sunny Flight. At one point, Activision and Toys for Bob held a contest and asked for fans to screenshot their best time to potentially win this Spyro-themed e-scooter. At the moment, we are actually unsure as to who actually won the scooter. In Sheila's original design sketch, she had horns and even had boxing gloves. This layer would be removed as it made little to no sense for a kangaroo that only used her feet to attack to have horns and boxing gloves. Speaking of Sheila, when Spyro 3 Reignited started its marketing, they redesigned Sheila, giving her hair and a safari top.
I don't like that
met with
hairdo though. That
harsh
hairstyle.
criticism in the fan base and caused an all-out comment war on social
I mean, I'm
media.
used to it. I just
Some
don't like
saying
it.
the redesign is great, while others screamed that
Subways now.
Yeah, Steph Curry. Yeah, I'm used to Sheila's Reignited Trilogy hairstyle, but I'm just not used to it. I just don't like it.
it was terrible. When Crash Bandicoot Insane Trilogy came out, there was an interesting code on the main menu. In the original Crash Bandicoot Warped, like we mentioned, when you put in the modified Konami code, up, up, down, down, left, right, square, it would start a Spyro 1 demo. So, in the Insane Trilogy, when the same code was put in, the cursor would then abruptly disappear. It was thought that it was a coding clue for it to try and do something, but that something was not yet enabled. Later on, when Spyro Reignited was about to be announced, a video of the Crash mascot was shown punching in the code, and a purple light filling his face and room. After
You
Spyro
could barely
Reignited
see
was
the
announced, Crash Insane was
Spyro's.
updated so that if you punched
You can barely see Spyro's reflection on Crash Bandicoot's eyes.
in that code, it would start the Spyro Reignited trailer. In the manual for Spyro 1, there is a particularly interesting looking dragon. Its model is never used in the game, and it just so happens to be purple with yellow accents and crests. He also has a medal around his neck, something not seen on any other dragon. It's implied that this is Spyro all grown up in a hypothetical future, with the medal rewarding his efforts in saving the dragons. While Insomniac was figuring out what color to make this dragon, they also struggled with naming him. There were a number of names that were pitched, but the one that they held onto for a while after Pete was Pyro. Pyro, meaning fire, seemingly made the most sense. However, for a reason explained later on in the video, it would then be adjusted to Spyro.
Okay.
We now enter the open water.
Open water. This is the part where I left off from. 23
Of
minutes in.
facts. This is when things start to get interesting. In Spyro 3, Sergeant Bird led an army of female French hummingbird soldiers. However, when Sergeant Bird was trapped, the Rhinox invaded their base. Without the leadership of Sergeant Bird, the hummingbirds will infiltrated, trapped, and caged in 15 minutes. This can also be a light jab at the French, as it's a stereotype that the French give up easily. Continuing with the themes of war, Spyro acts as a double agent playing for both sides for the war between the Land Blubbers and Breeze Builders. When you go to Breeze Builders, there are a number of Land Blubbers invading and causing problems. But when you go to Zephyr, it's the Breeze Builders causing the Land Blubbers problems as well. Spyro really just wants orbs. He really does not care about the results, so he does quests and helps both sides. In Spyro 3, they revealed how dragons actually get the eggs. Every 12 years, on the Year of the Dragon, fairies bring eggs to the dragon realms.
Next year, the
Dragons
dragon.
from
Next
afar and
year,
wide come together to
2024.
celebrate and feast as the baby dragons hatch and the next generation of dragonkind begins. This is the starting plot point to Spyro 3. In the original Spyro 3, after you defeat the sorceress, the super bonus round unlocks. However, originally a sparkle tornado was supposed to spawn after the sorceress's defeat right in front of her gate. It would lift you up high and send you to an island where the super bonus round was. However, this would get cut and the super bonus round would be brought closer to players. But in Spyro 3 Reignited, this sparkle tornado was added back in, but it only sends you to a small island that contains 3 lives, as kind of a homage to the original idea.
Pepper.
Oh, I did that. I didn't know. Sorry, Hannah Wadicam. Bring back Ted Lasso, or maybe make a sequel or spin-off.
The original Spyro trilogy never had a choice in how difficult it could be. However, Spyro 3 had an interesting background difficulty adaptation system. Put bluntly, the game difficulty would change depending on how well or how bad you played. This was across minigames, bosses, etc. The game adjusted how many hits a boss could take, the placement of enemies, and even the number of enemies. This was likely used as a means to make sure that the game was approachable for younger or less experienced players and give the more experienced players a challenge. Sadly, this was not translated in Spyro 3 Reignited's development. Spyro 3 Reignited had a lot of questions in terms of difficulty, especially Spike, who was notorious for being the hardest boss in the entire original trilogy. However, he was now seen as just a joke in the remake. The reason being was that Spyro 3 Reignited did not have any background difficulty systems. It's unknown what difficulty was modeled specifically for Spyro 3, but most theorize Sanzaro designed it around the game's easiest difficulty, bringing much disappointment to die-hard Spyro fans. Additionally, the original third game never came to Japan. Both Spyro the Dragon and Spyro and Sparks Ton Demo Tours, yeah, that is really the name of Spyro 2's port in Japan, came out to
Spyro
a
3's
mediocre
port
reception.
in Japan?
The
Or
company that actually
Spyro
did
2?
the translating and porting of Spyro had went under after Spyro 2 released. Sadly, due to its poor reception in Japan, Sony didn't even bother with hiring a new company to release a Japanese port of the Year of the Dragon.
Yeah.
However, the Spyro Reignited Trilogy was ported to the Japanese market, and this would be the first time that Japanese audiences would be able to experience the Year of the Dragon in their native tongue. Charles Zambilis was the character designer behind Crash Bandicoot, but he also designed Spyro the Dragon.
Oh, that's cool.
In fact, the pose that we see here and when the game was announced is the exact same pose that Charles had for when he
2002
submitted
Charles
his
Zambilis.
designs to Insomniac. Crash and Spyro having the same character artist isn't where the similarities end. Both Naughty Dog and Insomniac
Japan had Spyro 1 and 2, but Spyro 2 had a completely different name in Japan. Spyro 3 was never released in Japan until the Reignited Trilogy.
the developers of Crash and Spyro, both work in the same building under Universal. During different times of development, Insomniac would sometimes help out Naughty Dog with Crash, and likewise, Naughty Dog would sometimes help out Insomniac with Spyro. Crash and Spyro share the same character artist. The developers worked in the same buildings.
Yeah,
What
this
other
is common.
similarities could be drawn? Well, through a number of crossovers and Easter eggs, it's pretty clear and heavily implied that both Crash and Spyro are canonically in the same universe. This becomes a lot more apparent in Crash Bandicoot 4, with a gigantic Spyro float being used in the background, and in Crash to Insanity, where Cortex even openly acknowledges Spyro. The original
But not
Spyro
by
1
name.
had a shoestring budget, and this applied to even their cast of characters. Clancy Brown, who ironically starred in Crash Bandicoot, voiced almost all the dragons that you save.
Oh,
This is also hilarious, as
Clancy
Clancy Brown's
Brown.
most known role is
Clancy Brown in Star Wars as well. What's his name? Savage Opress. Not Admiral. Governor. What's his name again in Star Wars Rebels and in Ahsoka? Governor Azadi. Yeah, he's voiced some of the dragons in these games. At Yeah, Clancy Brown also in Star Wars with Star Wars Rebels and Ahsoka. Uh, Governor Azadi, is that his name? I joked it as Governor Bugatti. Oh yeah, and a Mandalorian with that red Deveronian alien who I call Hellboy because he looks like Hellboy. He also voiced that Inquisitor in not Spyro. He also voiced that Inquisitor in Star Wars Tales of the Jedi, who Ahsoka Tano fought.
Mr. Krabs in SpongeBob SquarePants. And the following year, the voice of SpongeBob SquarePants, Tom Kenny, would take the mantle of voicing Spyro. Now, some of these facts actually draw from my own private and personal visit with Toys for Bob back in 2018, where I got to go
younger.
and play test Spyro 3's Dino
Canadian guy
Mines.
looks
So
younger
some information draws from that. While developing Spyro Reignited, Toys for Bob was able to get their hands on all of the original sketches, books, and pitches for all 3 Spyro games from Insomniac. This helped them get an idea as to what Insomniac's original ideas were to help with their creative processes. While Spyro Reignited was being promoted, a custom Spyro-themed PlayStation 4 popped up on Twitter.
Goodness.
This was a hotly requested console, and people wanted to buy it really bad. Sadly, only a limited number of them were made, as it was made in partnership with a Belgian artist, Vadu Emka. Legit
Belgium,
though,
eh?
I would cry if I could get my hands on a PS5 version of this thing.
If there was a PS5 Spyro, I would also buy a PS5 Spyro faceplate.
Swimming was originally a
But that
planned
probably wouldn't happen when Microsoft owns Crash and Spyro in a couple of months or next month.
mechanic. However,
Unless Microsoft would allow that, or if Microsoft makes some kind of Spyro themed customization thing for the Xbox Series consoles. Is that even a thing? Are custom faceplates even a thing for Xbox Series X and S?
time constraints, this had to be cut from the game and later introduced in Spyro 2. To go along with this, there was also going to be an underwater themed homeworld. And, according to Oliver Wade, he had sketched an underwater dragon boss along with a Amish dolphin rider. Yep, yeah, you heard me right. Amish dolphin rider. Now, there was also another cut world, but there is significantly less information about it, apparently called the Machinists. Originally, these dragons were a clan of engineers that would make robots. While there is very little that is known about these so-called machinists, I will point out that it's interesting that one of the bosses for the Beastmakers is a gigantic robot, and the final Nork worlds are very industrialized. I'm not claiming this as a fact, I'm just saying that these levels could have been recycled from the initial machinist worlds.
First, there's
Okay, whatever.
Originally, the balloonists that got you from world to world were actually Viking boatmen.
Oh my
according
goodness.
to these early screenshots of Spyro 1.
That would
Additionally,
be
in the exact same
This guy
photo-
looks like the guy from Golden Axe on the Sega Genesis. That looks so awkward.
we actually can see that the dragons stuck in crystal looked more like stone and definitely don't look like the crystal dragon statues
Oh,
that we
boy.
all know and love today. As we plunge deeper into the murky depths, we might be starting to answer some of the questions that have been on the minds of fans for years. The lack of female dragons was always something that confused many fans. Why was it literally just a bunch of dudes? Well, this problem was actually really straightforward. Insomniac had a shoestring budget with the first game and had limited access to cast, and the cast just so happened to be all male. So every dragon followed suit. Additionally, the very first Spyro game's development started with only 6 people. It would eventually grow to 13 throughout the game's development. But again, The shoestring budget that they had didn't allow for too many people to work on the game, but even with a small team, they were able to make a fantastic, long-lasting experience. Also, ever wonder why Spyro was on all 4 legs but the other adult dragons were bipedal? Well, the PlayStation 1 had limited access with its polygon count. Insomniac found that it was hard for these dragons to emote if they were on all 4s like Spyro, and they couldn't afford more polygons. So they made the adult dragons stand on 2 legs to let their arms emote and express what they're saying. While Spyro Reignited did a great job on either preserving what was already there or making a change that overall would be for the better, there was a lot of debate online about one specific change, and that was Twilight Harbor. More specifically, the Nork Commandos. In the original game,
they're
they
shooting
had
guns.
numerous actual, literal military-grade looking weaponry, like AK-47s and machine guns. But in Spyro Reignited, they were replaced with guns that shot what looks a bit like goo or slime. There were a few rumors floating around as to why, like Toys for Bob didn't want the game to get hit with a T rating from the ESRB, or that Toys for Bob just felt that actual military-grade weapons that looked too much like actual guns did not fit in the world of Spyro. Either way, it's a change that's definitely gotten the fan base in a tizzy in the past, but it's definitely settled down now. One feature that originates all the way back to even the first game is that gems will glint at any range, even if they are not rendered in yet, allowing you an easier time to find them. Speaking of gems, gems were used as the main collectible, as it's stereotypical for dragons to have a treasure hoard of gold and gems. It's not clear where the stereotype totally originated from, but the most clear example of it today is Smaug from Tolkien's Hobbit. However, it has been said that Smaug was inspired by the story of Beowulf, which included a dragon that was enraged that someone stole from its treasure and begins a rampage. So yeah, a little fun sneak peek behind the stereotype to why dragons hoard treasure. When Astor actually begins talking about how much treasure the dragons have, he gets mixed up on whether or not they have 12,000 or 14,000 treasure. The reason being is that he is old and he forgets that Nasty has already stolen 2,000 treasure. But when you 100% the game, your treasure total is 12,000. But when you get access to Nasty's loot, which has the stolen 2,000 treasure, it adds to a grand total of 14,000. Agent 9, the crazy experimental monkey with a gun, was going to have his own spin-off title, called Prime 8. There was even some weird prototype footage floating around giving an idea to what it would look like.
Oh my goodness.
However,
this doesn't even look like a Spyro game.
The idea of it being an Agent 9 spin-off would be scrapped and the game would be rebranded to Death Jr. and release on the PSP. During the PlayStation 1's
that I did
life,
not know.
Mark Cerny felt that it did not have enough family-friendly titles. Nintendo was dominating the kids market at the time and he wanted to try to compete with them with their own set of kid-friendly games. This actually helped Insomniac while they were planning out which game to develop, and it would eventually lead to the development of Spyro the Dragon. Spyro wasn't the only game that was pitched as Insomniac's first title under Universal, however, as the game that would eventually become Resistance Fall of Man was also pitched alongside Spyro. But after much consideration, they decided to develop Spyro first, but would later on release Resistance Fall of Man for the PlayStation 3. Now, let's shift our gears a little.
Okay, Legend Spyro time.
The end of Dawn of the Dragon is very open-ended. We are not sure if Spyro and Cinder are actually, well, alive, but the one thing we can see is that while Spyro in the end does save the world, it's not completely in one piece. As you can see, large sections are still floating in the sky. However, during the end sequences, we can see the denizens working to rebuild their homes on these floating islands. The next time we see Spyro is in Skylanders, where floating islands are everywhere in the world, called the Skylands. It's theorized that the end of Dawn of the Dragon is actually the beginning of the Skyland.
Skylanders, yep. And ads.
Know how to solve.
Now, remember that adaptive difficulty that was in the original Spyro 3?
I'm almost
but was
done with
not
this
in the
game,
Spyro 3
with this
Reignited?
video.
Well, at one point, there may have been something to replace that. When digging around in the files of Spyro Reignited, a difficulty mode was discovered. It allowed you to choose how easy or how hard the game was. Ultimately, it did not make it into the final game, likely because the original first two games had a set difficulty and Toys for Bob probably didn't want to start making too many changes for each difficulty. Sparks is Spyro's best friend and sidekick, and according to a post on PlayStation.com, the Dragon News Network got an exclusive interview with Sparks,
DNN.
where Sparks describes that when he was just a larva, he would crawl around on Spyro's egg before he hatched. He would describe the world to Spyro during each passing day. One day, however, a bird tried to swoop down and grab Sparks, but Spyro saved them just in the nick of time, solidifying their relationship. Oliver Wade, the main character designer behind Spyro 2 and 3, had his children's names secretly placed in Spyro 2. Here is Brian on the wall of Summer Forest, and in Winter Tundra, you can also see the name Brenda, a nice little homage to his children. After Spyro's original trilogy, Insomniac walked away from the Purple Dragon and Universal to begin what would eventually become Ratchet & Clank. Universal handed Spyro over to a company called Check 6, which would eventually become the hot mess that was Spyro Enter the Dragonfly.
Now we just need a proper Spyro 4 to replace that garbage.
Flynn did agree to compose a soundtrack for the game like he did for the previous three. He felt disconnected with the game and didn't find it was as good as the originals. However, it was when he saw the live-action commercial of the game that made him realize that his time with Spyro was probably up.
Neither ain't so nice, not to mention troubles with sparks and bubbles. Chickens on the run.
Oh my god, this is horrible.
Hope that purple dragon don't come back. Don't come back.
So, after he was finished with Enter the Dragonfly, he walked away from the Spyro franchise. Until
Yeah, that was a wise move, especially after that advertising mess.
he returned to compose Tiger Train, the main menu music for Spyro Reignited Trilogy.
Good thing he came back though.
Completely different world, as in the world of Warcraft, a recent expansion called Dragonflight has released, and there was a side quest that was called A Dragon's Day Off. It begins after speaking to a member of the Black Dragonflight.
I don't know about this.
Vazalia. She is tired and just wants to relax after fighting for all of her life. She wants nothing more than to relax with a cold drink in her hand. So she asks if you can help by getting her a number of drinks that are found all over the Dragon Isles. Each of the drinks have their own special names that actually are references to Skylanders. The drinks' names are Flameslinger Rum, Riptide Brew,
Pop Fizz,
Pop Fizz Punch, Happy Trigger Sour, Slam Bam Swill, Whirlwind Wine, and Stealthy Elven Port. Once complete, you will receive a little battle pet that is a purple dragon whelp called Spyrogos. The description even says, this little dragon is all fired up.
Oh, we got the
looks
Spyro
like
references
he's got
even
some
in World of
things to
Warcraft.
do. Oh, and of course, the name of the quest is a reference to the start and plot point of Spyro 2.
Exactly.
Where Spyro just wants to go on vacation in Dragon Shores before he gets hijacked to come to Glimmer.
I love Halloween.
No, it is 1 month early for Halloween, Kit Kat.
Spyro is a victim of many people trying to reboot him, and he almost fell victim to the dark, edgy reboots that plagued us all in the late 2000s. Spyro Revolution was a TV show pitch that basically made Spyro look like a gargoyle and be dark and edgy. Fortunately for all of us, it did not pass the concept art phase and was only a pitch. Thank goodness. After Pete, the name that Insomniac started to settle on was Pyro. However, Mark Cerny and Insomniac had heard of an internal theory that claimed that mascot characters should have 5 letters to their name. Examples like Mario, Sonic, and even his closely related orange friend, Crash. So they decided to see if they could figure out a brand new name.
And there
with
was
5
also
letters. But this
Sony,
eventually led to simply adding
Sony
an S,
advertisement.
which created the name Spyro. We are now entering the deep, dark
Abyss.
depths of Spyro. Some of these facts aren't even known by Spyro aficionados, including myself when I started this video. So, without further ado, let's dive in. In Spyro 3, when you get to the second homeworld, there are a number of paintings that have a secret message on them. When you look closely, you can see the word Parvinder. No, this is not the name of the artist of these pieces, but of a mother. Back when Spyro Reignited was delayed, a user by the name of the Chrono Shadow made a request on Reddit. Spyro was their very first game, and they would play it often with their mother. However, their mother was recently diagnosed with breast cancer, and because of the delay, they were unsure if they would be able to play together. Chrono Shadow asked if it was possible that in some small way, if his mother's name could be immortalized in Spyro 3, which was the very first Spyro game they ever played together. His mother's name was Parvinder. It can get very sad in the abyss. Crystal Islands was originally supposed to be a forest level, with bears and beavers, oh my. According to Oliver Wade, however, character designs for each level were literally made in one sitting. Once they were done, that was it. However, later on, this level was completely scrapped and changed into a crystal theme, which made the characters, like the bears, no longer make so much sense. So, to save time, they simply turned them into crystal bears. Problem solved.
My goodness.
Allura is a fawn, you dork. But
Everybody
in
knows
her
that.
original sketch, Oliver Wade said that Allura was not a fawn, and even decided to redraw his original sketch for us, showing us that, in fact, she was going to be a centaur. So, why the change? Well, it was that dreaded polygon count. Allura's extra legs took way too many polygons, which of course means less details that could be made on her model. So they chopped off the back 2 legs and made her a fawn. Continuing with Oliver Wade's comments, one of the early iterations for Moneybags was actually a rhino instead of a bear. Additionally, Agent 9 had 2 pitches. One was for a gun-wielding space monkey, and the other was for a pig. Yep, a pig. Oliver Wade actually really liked the idea of Agent 9 being a pig, but Ted Price, the current president of Insomniac, wanted the space monkey. And so, Space Monkey Agent 9 is what we got. While Spyro was not incredibly popular in Japan, there was a crazy looking device that you could grab if you were a Spyro fan and wanted to have a Spyro experience on the go. The Pocket Station was a mini console that was exclusively released in Japan.
Yen.
It was a memory card peripheral and would allow you to play different games that were unlocked when you got them. Spyro the Dragon and Spyro 2 both had their own mini games on the Pocket Station. Spyro 2 had 3 homeworlds: Summer Forest, Autumn Plains, and Winter Tundra, clearly following the seasons. However, a rumor started years ago that there was a cut homeworld, which would have been spring themed. This was further fueled by the fact that Autumn Plains is so massive, and many speculated that the levels that would have been in the spring homeworld were combined into Autumn Plains.
Oh, you're back already.
This theory
Good.
literally lasted for decades. It was legend until Oliver Wade revealed that in fact there was no spring homeworld planned, which was kind of sad. Now, at one point, Toys for Bob at least considered the hover from Spyro 2 and 3 to be in their first game. There was some cut dialogue from Thomas where he suggests that you could hover at the end of your glide.
Hey, Spyro! Press the jump button twice to glide, and then press the action button at the end of your glide to hover. And don't be afraid.
Afraid? Of what?
Of course, in the end, Toys for Bob opted to stay true to the original games. In one of the very early builds of Spyro, Nasty's loot was actually called
Nasty Booty.
Nasty Booty.
It
which,
sounds like,
of course,
sounds like
is
Ratchet and Clank.
hilariously inappropriate for a kid's game, but it was still pretty funny. In the original
Nasty Booty sounds like it could be used for Ratchet and Clank.
Town Square, the bulls that we're seen running around have a dark green look to them. However, in Spyro Reignited, they were swapped to being light brown.
They still
but when
had
you
blood
go digging
tipped.
through the Spyro Reignited
They still had
files,
blood tipped.
you actually can find a reignited bull that had the same shape and color as the original bulls in Town Square. But of course, these were swapped. Remember how they were supposed to be swimming in a water homeworld in Spyro 1? Well, according to Oliver Wade, the upper half of Aquaria Towers is actually recycled of the original underwater homeworld that was planned for the first game. Kirsten von Schreven, one of the developers on the original game, claimed that Cliff Town was heavily inspired by Star Wars. Specifically,
yeah, Tatooine.
Subways.
Yeah, come on. Stop it with the mid-roll ads. Or at least warn us, YouTube. You used to do that. Ad playing in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, but you don't do it so often anymore. If at all.
Tatooine. When Activision was doing its ad campaign for Spyro Reignited, one of the things this ad campaign did was create a drone that was in the shape of Spyro to fly it across America and deliver a copy of
To
the
Snoop
game
Dogg
to Snoop Dogg
on PS4.
Yeah, this was
Or
real.
PC.
I know, it sounds wild, but here's the thing. This drone could actually breathe fire. Now, here's where
insane.
things get a little crazy. Because this drone can breathe fire, it now technically can be classified as a UCAV, or an unmanned combat aerial vehicle, which is a military combat drone. So yes, theoretically, Spyro can be used for war crimes. When Toys for Bob started
did the United States government do have anything to do responded to that behind the scenes?
development for Spyro Reignited Trilogy, the dragons were originally going to follow what the original game did, just a few kinds of dragons with some colors swapped. We can even see a very early look at Astor, the very first dragon that we see in the game.
Oh, this I didn't know
However,
this.
as the Toys for Bob artists got to work, they slowly started to add, little details like different horns, different spikes, and then a hat, and then props, and then accessories. Before they knew it, the very plain Jane dragons that they started with turned into a gigantic creative outlet for the artists that let their imaginations go wild. When they added
bravo
the S
for
to
them.
Pyro to make it 5 letters like the internal theory suggested, there was also a theory that suggests that the S was not completely random. Pyro in Greek means fire.
Yes.
But Spyro, S-P-I-R-O,
Spyro.
is Latin for breath.
Or Spyro.
Putting the words together to create Spyro seems like a nod to the name meaning fire breath.
Fire
which is
breath.
the perfect name.
Fire breath. Ka means fire. Ha means fire. Ka means breath. Fire breath. With Tamara Morrison. With the haka.
For a little
Fire
dragon.
breath.
The dark and edgy Spyro was actually not the first attempt at making a Spyro TV show. In early 2012, a company named Moonscoop heard that Activision was thinking of making a TV show starring the Purple Dragon. The company started to draft up some sketches, and of course, I hired our resident thumbnail artist, Melva Honeybee, to make a high-definition version of those sketches. However, Activision would eventually make Skylanders Academy as their Spyro-directed TV show. Now, we finally get to the bottom of this iceberg.
I will say though that Spyro
bottom of the
in
abyss.
Skylanders Academy does look a lot better than in the video games.
The very
Skylanders video
final
games.
facts. For this one, I wanted to try and find a
We're
fact
nearly done
that
with
was
this
not
video.
yet shared or known when it comes to Spyro. Something that would catch all of you Spyro aficionados by surprise. So I went and searched for something that no one knew yet, something that wasn't even on the internet, and I believe I have found it. I emailed a couple people to finally get my hands on this information, And I also can confirm this information because when I went to Toys for Bob, they actually had Insomniac's original binders that cataloged every pitch, level, and character. Now, you have heard of Pete, and you may have even heard of Dragon Game when it was pitched by Craig Stitt back in December 1996. But there was one name and pitch that I believe no one has shared.
Yes, and this ad is building up the suspense.
Yet, ladies and gentlemen, I want to introduce you to Pierre.
Pierre.
At one point, a design pitch for what would eventually become Spyro was the idea of a young dragon who was a prankster. He just learned how to breathe fire and now wanted to show it off by playing tricks and pranking people. Remember how one of Spyro's inspirations was Bart Simpson, but after Spyro 1, Insomniac pulled away from that? Yeah, this incarnation was definitely more in line with that Bart Simpson counterpart. Also, we have a little story pitch for the character as well. Here is how the game was apparently going to go. Once upon a time, there was a small green dragon, and his name was
Green.
Pierre. Pierre was
Green.
only a young dragon.
Green.
He was 113 years old. Now, since Pierre was just getting his firepower, he liked to play tricks on people with his fire. After he got out of school, he would go into the
Dragon
forest and
School.
sneak up on people who were fishing or picking apples or digging a hole, and he would
Digging
go
a hole.
boom and fire them right in the bum. The people would go running saying, "Pierre, you are a silly, mean dragon." It's actually insane that I was able to get my hands on this, as I was able to also get some other really cool tidbits of information for early iterations of Spyro, which I will be sharing more about in a future video. But what if there was a fact that was in fact below the abyss?
The end.
Oh, wait. It's the end. Well, this concludes my biggest Spyro video literally ever. This one was a real challenge and I love doing it. If you want to check out the potential origin story of Nasty Nork, I suggest you click this video. And don't forget to subscribe for more Spyro content. Happy Spyro Community Day, everybody, and I can't wait to soar on new adventures with all of you in the future. Bye-bye!
Thank you. I'll put this in my favorites, making my 1001st favorite. Okay, and that is the whole... Yep, and that is the whole Spyro Iceberg Fact by Canadian Guy A here on screen. That's his original video if you want to watch it yourself. Yeah. Toronto, whatever. So let's get into a little bit of Spyro Reignited, that as much as we can. Okay, let's see what we can do with Spyro Reignited Trilogy on this stream. Let's start with Year of the Dragon. I'm not gonna try to get even one trophy yet. I'm gonna see if next week I can complete the all the trophies and everything else. in Spyro Reignited Trilogy. It'll be a little over 3.5 years since I bought and started Spyro Reignited Trilogy. The adventure continues. Well, even after I 100% the entire game and get absolutely everything except for maybe maxing out the health and lives, it'll still continue to say. I guess it'll still continue to say adventure continues when doing free roam replay, but you can always the adventure continues. I'll keep on saying this. It's not like, oh, the adventure has ended, but there's nothing like a new game plus for Reignited Trilogy. No, I don't think it'll even change this adventure continues screen. I don't think it'll even change even after I complete everything. Yeah, use a roll finally. You missed. Even after I get all the skill points. Even after I get all the skill points, all the trophies, all the missing gems and eggs, unlock all the levels and such, I think will still the continues the. I think the loading screens will keep saying the adventure continues.
Hey, Spyro.
Oh wait, oops.
We showed those two bullies. If they hadn't outnumbered me 2-1, I'd have finished them off ages ago. Look, a chicken turned up. I hope it's not the only one left. Where is that place? a dragon? I can't believe your kind really exists.
Here we go. Oh yeah, you can in free play mode you can always try to beat your times in these time challenges. But otherwise, wait, how do I flip? Oh, Ripto's yeah, Ripto's face doesn't show up on the bottom of these skateboards. Oh well. Now, where is that picture? Did Midnight mount? Midday Gardens. All right, you got food. I'm looking for the like how the video showed that like somebody's mother was was suffering from cancer at the time, and when the game was delayed, they were worried that they wouldn't be able to play Reignited Trilogy. But Twice for Bob still immortalized that guy's mom, and her name is hidden in the game. It's here somewhere. And there we are, the mom's name, which her name is, how do you say it? Paraven. What does he say? Parvinder? Voice for Bob heard about the mom suffering from cancer at the time, and David helped immortalize her. Parvinder. Okay, now let's go to Spyro 2. See if we can get at least one trophy. Just three more trophies in Spyro 2. Yeah, I believe I have all the skill points. I think. That's another good thing to double check. Nope. Hit Ripto. Okay, that's another thing. So it looks like that's another thing I should work on. Getting all the skill points. There's three more at least on Spyro 2. One of the trophies. I gotta look at it again. One of them is called Complete Gulp's Overlook without harming fodder. Gulp's Overlook. I already defeated Crush, and I need to hit Gulp. I need to take down Gulp without hitting without harming any fodder. And Ripto's Arena, perfect. Oh, these are. I gotta double check on Spyro 3's skill points as well. It's like without harming the fodder. Although there is there's skill points to defeat Gulp without getting hit at all. Those are going to be challenges for the Spyro 2. Gulp's Overlook. I haven't done this in a long time, so it's gonna take many tries, unless I'm lucky. Not the last boss, but one of them.
Go, finish him off, and you can have all the berries you can eat. Enjoy this.
Or maybe it's made a lot easier with this breath. Oh, thanks for this fire breath. Oh, there you go. Made it a lot easier because of the fire breath. Oh, because I already finished the game. I already finished the game the first time around. So it's unlocked. It's permanently unlocked.
Spyro, you did it!
The regular.
Laura, where'd you come from?
I was just outside the castle in Autumn Plains.
You get a fire breath after the second game.
There's
No, like you had to finish like
And
the
since
game the
you've
first
been
time
around,
around,
the creatures of Avalar are
and stuff,
finally
something
starting to
like
get
that.
along.
You go up defeated. Yeah, that made things a lot easier because if it was the regular fire breath, you couldn't do it. You couldn't even finish this boss that easily. Now I'm gonna try to hit Ripto. Yeah, I think you not only finished Spyro 2, but you have to you not only do you have to finish Spyro 2, but you also have to unlock Dragon Shores and maybe to beat Dragon Shores. After then, the super fire breath would be permanently unlocked. Okay, that just made things a lot easier. Now let me try to take on Ripto and record it on my PS4, even though it's also recorded on stream. I'm not sure. I don't remember for sure on the third game.
Go, finish him off, and you can have all the berries you can eat. Enjoy this.
How do I hit Ripto? It's okay. Wait, how do I hit Ripto? Wait, I thought I just had to fire blast him. Let me watch the video. Because the camera is fixed on oh, you could do that too. Grab, okay. Oops. You gotta aim at Ripto, yeah. Or let me try something. No. Oh. Oops. Oh yes, I got him. Good. Okay, I didn't have to get that rocket. guess I didn't have to hit that rocket after all. The regular flame breath, you can't defeat Repto, gulp or crush that way. Okay. Ollie Ollie Oxen. How do I now? How do I do that?
Subways now
Oh, this one? Without taking a hit? Oof. Where is the where is that? For anyone struggling, I found it easy to get this trophy last by doing the following. Defeat the Ox by any means necessary, complete the Metropolis level like normal. Unlock the He's on Fire trophy and activate the Super Flame. And return to Metropolis, go to the Ox and talk to the guy to start Metropolis. Maybe it'll be made a lot easier with the Super Flame. I think this is Spyro 3. Yeah. No, Spyro 2.
Go.
Metropolis. Oh. Again, this has been...
With all the budget cuts, these elevators need serious work.
Yeah.
I always say there is no repair quite like just hitting something.
We gotta go through this level as usual, I guess. go through this level as usual. Ow. That, ooh, almost. Turn home? No, not yet.
Ah, Spyro, I heard you were coming. Thank you for your
Oh, that's what
efforts.
she said.
Please take this item.
Here you have those gems and orbs, thousands.
It's a first for Avalar, a combination power-up. Thank goodness you're here to test it out. These invading...
Okay.
Excellent work.
Okay. Come on.
Nice flying, Airman.
Okay. Goody. Oh, I was already here. Where fight Ali Oxen or whatever the name is. Do not go on the ice. Instead, line Spyro up with the ox's face. Wait. Oh wait, really? So you go down at the pig and the cow person. Go to the right. Oh, we're there. Oh, you gotta go to the right here. Okay. It's one with the ox, and then one to defeat Riftel without getting hit. And then the platinum trophy for Spyro 2. Is this it? Wait, what? Hold on. Can you skip around it somewhere? Oh, okay. Alright. Alright, backtrack to the beginning. So, here we go. Go to the right. Okay. Ah! Missed it.
As you can see, a vicious ox has taken over our armory. And here we thought that freezing the walkway would keep animals out. The ox is very tough.
Oh, that doesn't... Oh.
Excellent
Ah!
work, Dragon. We can now defend our city properly. Take this visual...
Oh, those remorse already. Oh, I forgot to record this, but I don't think the PS4 would record the trophies being popped up on screen, like when you record using the built-in PS4 DVR. But at least I have it recorded on stream. Okay. Oh, too bad I didn't record. I didn't do the PS4 record. Oh well. But again, at least I have the recording on stream. Yay, second. All right, there you go. Second PS4 trophy. But I just haven't defeated perfected Repto's Arena. Oh, that's right. That's right. I said 3 trophies left. I got 1 trophy, and then I got the second trophy, which unlocked the third and last trophy. I think there's like 1 or 2 more trophies left. I think there's like at least 2 more trophies left in Reignited Trilogy. Yeah, I think this will be the biggest challenge so far in Repto's Rage. Unless I could keep on firing at him without getting hit. And it's also the flight controls, a little bit of the flight controls, and yeah. I just have 1 more skill point left in Spyro 2 now.
want to help you fight Ripto. Elora is using the orbs you collected to store power-up energy. Hunter will throw the powered-up orbs to you as they become ready. Even as we speak, the professor is experimenting with new forms of power-up energy, so you'll soon have abilities that no one has ever seen before.
Okay, that was quick. That part was quick, I should say. Fire, 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 fire. Okay. Okay, I didn't give him a chance there. Oh, this next part. Alright. This next part is gonna be tough. Because with the controls. Don't get hit, don't get hit. Okay. So far so good. Bam! Come on, hit! Come on, hit Ripto! Hit Ripto! Come on, get closer. Okay, got him. Whoa. Where is he? Where is he? Oh, there he is. Like one or two more hits without getting a hit. Oh, yes! Am I recording? Was I recording this whole time? Well, he's not dead, but it looks like he's dead.
Hey!
I don't think we could ever thank you enough, Spyro. I suppose you have to go now?
Yeah, I better. They'll be missing me in the Dragon Worlds, and I've still got a vacation to take. I need it more than ever now.
Before you go, I think that Moneybags has something he wants to give you.
I most certainly do not.
Hunter? Spyro, Moneybags is very sorry that he made you pay so much on your way through Avalar. We want you to keep the gems as a reward for helping us.
Wow, thanks. Sparks, can you grab them? Let me just type in the new coordinates and there. Spyro, you can now go to Dragon Shores. Hey, why don't you guys come with me? I bet you could use
That's what she said.
I'm
That's what
afraid
he
you can't,
said.
Spyro. Ripto may be gone, but he caused a lot of damage during his short stay. We'll be cleaning up for weeks. Just remember, though, that you can always get back to Avalar from Dragon Shores if you want to visit.
Well, okay. Come on, Sparks. We got a lot of vacation to catch up on. Yeah.
That's just a theme park and such. Oh good, I was recording this whole time. Yeah, that's just Dragon Shores. There's some challenges and stuff there. But now I believe I have everything in Spyro 2. Oh, so I have a picture of Ripto's Remorse. So there you go. Yeah, all this stuff. And yeah. You only get 100% on Ripto's Rage only. Speedways. There's one at least. No, I don't know. I don't remember exactly for Spyro 3. At least that's Spyro 2, but Spyro 3 has like as a second ending. Yeah, all of these points. Parts 1 and 2 have been unlocked. Oh, parts 1 and 2, not parts 1 of 2. Yeah, I got all the trophies. Yeah, 100%. 20 hours of playing Ripto's Rage total. All the levels, the talismans and orbs, all the gems have been unlocked. That's just about two more Spyro 3 trophies to unlock. Ugh. Skateboard record time, Dino Mines. Skateboard record time, Dino Mines. Okay, so 2 more skill points. And yeah. And then there's some more, yeah. I don't want to do the skateboard one. And at least I'll do that one on stream, off stream. Yeah. Yeah, especially like like even when all of the even when you defeat all the enemies, unlocked all the levels, objectives, side quests, Sparks levels, after you completed all the skill points, rescued all the dragons, all the dragon eggs and the gems and everything, completely everything, with or without maximizing your amount of lives. Yes, you can always free roam and defeat all the enemies again, and try to break your record in various time challenges. But other than that, when you complete everything else, it's like, oh, the adventure is pretty much over, unless you restart a new save slot, or you delete the save slot, restart all over again. But yeah. Let me just double check on Spyro 3's remaining trophies. One. Yeah, 2 more trophies in Spyro Year of the Dragon. The adventure continues just without other things to unlock, but the adventure continues except for other things to unlock. I mean, the adventure is over. The adventure the adventure continues just without any new collectibles or levels to unlock. No, nothing like a new journey plus new adventure plus for Spyro. Nothing like that. That would be something though. How would that work? How would a new adventure plus type of game mode work for Spyro or Crash Bandicoot? But before we end the stream, there's one more thing I want to do. Oh goodness. Oh, I know. Let me temporarily do this. Oh, come on. Okay, so that the yeah, so that you can hear the theme song, the Spyro Reignited Trilogy theme song playing over and over and over again. we are going to finally unbox these four Mewtwo's Spyro figures. Ooh, they're dusty. Yes. Oh yeah, you can see some receipts on the floor. I'll pick them up next time. Try to unbox them carefully. Let's start out with just a regular Spyro. Come back when you reach 100%. Just regular dragon, I guess. Or the unamused Spyro, I think. Yeah, yeah, that's how they were. That's how these are. How they come in. How they come in with the box. I think you open this from the bottom. Or not. Ah, anyways. Okay, so here is the box here of just a regular Spyro vinyl U2's figure. Again, come back when you've reached 100%. It looks Spyro unamused. They're supposed to be rare because they only take pre-orders and be on sale for a certain amount of time, unless there are certain Mewtwo's figures that either get reprints or are common. Ooh, I've had these figures for over a year, maybe 2 years. I gotta look them. In fact, I'm gonna look up with my U2's figure collection boxes list. Let's see, the Unimpressed I got over a year ago. Spyro vinyl figure Unimpressed, I got this on August 23, 2022. So definitely over a year since I got this U2's figure, these U2's figures. Oh, and I saw on my list that I got the Angry Video Game Nerd U2's. Wait, I have Funko Pop collection. Wait, I have this under Funko Pop collection. Wait, what? This is meant to be U2's. Let me fix that list. Okay, there you go. Yeah, I got my Angry Video Game Nerd YouTube's figure on September 11, 2021. So, 2 years ago from yesterday. Oops. And here he is. Finally out of the box after almost 11 months. Since I got him delivered. I remember this YouTube's figure came in late. This unimpressed Spyro YouTube's figures came in late. And like, YouTube's like, what's happening? I didn't get it. And I wasn't the only one. I saw on Twitter before that, oh, there were others that didn't get this YouTube's figure delivered on time. Until I got mine on August 23. Okay, there's the U2's again. U2's Spyro unimpressed figure. No, due to licensing restrictions, the SpongeBob collection only ships to addresses in the United States, UK, Canada, New Zealand, and Australia. Oof, none for Portugal or Spain. Oof. And this GameStop exclusive Spyro sad U2's figure. He is a dragon who is sad. He shouldn't be, but he should be. But he should feel sad for not getting a Spyro 4 until hopefully next year or 2025. Because he's really going to be sad if he doesn't get a Spyro 4 either next year or the following year. He shouldn't feel sad, but he has every right to be. For that reason. Okay. Manufactured in April 2022. Let's see what this one is. Yes. And here he is. You can even see his tears in his eyes. It's okay, Spyro. And in his butt. U2's Activision Publishing, copyright 2022. And I got this U2's figure. I got this U2's figure on August. Yeah, the rest of the other U2's figures in the Spyro vinyl figure collection was on August 16 last year. I don't have a big collection, but in fact, I have one U2's figure that I haven't unboxed yet, ever since I got it earlier this year. Third U2's figure. Third U2's figure. You gotta. Okay, this is the first time that I can remember seeing the back of this one U2's figure. You gotta believe. Maybe I saw this. Maybe I saw the back before, but I don't remember. You gotta believe. No, I did not just fart. Or alternatively, you gotta believe. What you gonna do? What you gotta do? You gotta believe. I gotta believe. Put in Parappa the Rapper reference. Now, if they only had a Parappa the Rapper U2's or Funko Pop figure. Is this the happy one? Is this the happy Spyro? Yeah, it's the happy Spyro figure because the remaining one after this is fired up. I'm all fired up, Bob, and I'm happy for the Dragon World, of course. Okay. Okay. And here he is. Happy Spyro. You gotta believe in Spyro. Woo! This is one more of the Spyro U2s. Spyro, the fired up figure. You're toast, Nork! I can't really do a Spyro laugh right now. You're toast, Nork! Grab from the front and the back. Okay, here's the box. You're toast, Nork. Alright, and here he is all fired up. I'm all fired up, Bob. And I'm happy for the Dragon World, of course. And here. And that is that. No, you can see them from here. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Spyro the Dragon. It's like 4 purple dragon bees. Yeah, Spyro 4 confirmed. Please confirm it, Toys for Bob or Activision or Beanox, whoever is going to be working on it. It's Spyro's 25th anniversary. Give us a confirmation or some kind of hint. Officially. Unofficially. Approximately 20 years after we were created. His armor has my father's name has been crafted into this armor for 25 years. Or what was that? Or what was the quote again? My father's name has been coded in this armor for 25 years. Let's double check all these boxes. So, back when you've reached 100%. Your toast, Nork. You gotta believe. And the GameStop exclusive. He is a dragon who is sad. I wonder how it's gonna be to put them onto the shelf down there. Okay, let's have a bonus unboxing. What's up, everyone? This is the unboxing man here with the A, X, B, and Y controller. I got him earlier this year on May 2, day after May Day, and 2 days before May the 4th here in the States. Back, this flap comes up from the back, picks up from the side, front of the U2's figure, the Actman. This is the React Man here, and he even had a video on why Star Wars Battlefront 3 will never be released. Sad but true. Finally, after 4 months and 10 days. Ooh. See, this figure is guaranteed to increase your gaming juices by 1,000%. Gamer juices. This is the Act Man here. What's up, everyone? This is the Act Man here. This is the React Man here. If you're reading this, you bought my figure or stole it, and that makes you cool. Or stole it, or scalped it, or something. No, I did not steal the figure. Okay. And there he is. Kelly Van Act finally out of the box. The box. There he is. The Act Man. He does have eyes under, but you can barely see it, but he does have eyes behind those glasses. But you can't remove the glasses, they're molded onto the figure. But yeah, there he is. And now all of my YouTube figures have been unboxed. My original Spyro figure when he's breathing fire while riding a skateboard. The Crash Bandicoot YouTube figure that I actually got from one of my local collector stores. The same one where I got, you could see it right up there. Same place where Jason David Frank almost 2 years ago did his Power Rangers Protection Program meetup. I got a picture and autograph of him. I got a picture with him and his autograph. My younger, this is 2021, so my younger self from 4 years prior to 2021. Or my younger self 6 years ago would have freaked out if he were to meet Jason David Frank in person. Rest in peace, Jason David Frank. A couple of months left until the 1 year anniversary of his passing. Rest in peace, Jason David Frank. He passed away. Yeah, he did more than passing away. He himself. He offed himself to be as friendly, YouTube friendly as possible. Yeah, he's been, yeah, during his life behind the scenes, his private life behind the scenes, he's been fighting with issues with his marriage and mental health issues in general. Box. Starting to rip a little bit. Yeah. Come on. This doesn't want to go inside. Come on. Seriously. Fit in the box. taking too long. Come on, man. If you want to go back inside, come on. The other boxes weren't that hard. Okay. Okay. This goes in easily. Okay. Can't be entering this in wrong. Come on, this is the right spot. This is the back of the box of the case, and trying to go match the back of the box. Come on. Not even this approach wants to get this in the box. Not even doing it like this first. Oh wait, this is upside down. Seriously? You get out of the box and then now you don't even want to fit inside? Trying to do this carefully, that's the thing. It's already ripping some parts of the corners. Really doesn't want to go inside. Oh my god, I don't know. Try this again next time. Anyways, well, we got to do everything here that I wanted to do in the stream. Yeah, watch the video. Get through the Spyro 2's entire all of the trophies and such. All the trophies and such, skill points. Spyro 3 is what's left, and I'll try to continue that next week and probably finish the entire Reignited Trilogy next week. But yeah, I think that's that I got for today. Thank you for coming to the stream, and I shall see you in another stream I plan tomorrow on Twitch. So I'll go see you next time. Thank you again for coming to the stream. Versatile Element signing out, and I shall see you in the next one.